New modes and menus. Now, this is something that I thought I'd give a mention to. Now, you're talking about a new version. So, with a new version of the game, you gotta make it feel as fresh as possible. What changes are needed to the overall look of the game in terms of the menus and the modes? Of course, new modes. Let's talk about the menus first. You know, there's a few things in the lobby, which we'll discuss probably very soon, that could use some improvements. When you talk about the basic design and feel of going around, it's actually not that bad, and it fits what they were going to do. So obviously, it's not like it was, I can't say it was lazily put together. It was put together appropriately enough to where they were trying to go for. But everything does come off bland. When you go to a menu, I mean, it's very organized. I'll give them that. Spike Jonze did a good job at organizing things. Everything's, you know, counter, get an upgrade counter, but it also feels like that certain menus need a little bit more to it. Including the KAC menu, which I will talk about now, but I'm going to save that one for a little later. Maybe even very, very soon. So, do we really need it? That's the question. I say yes, especially if you're going to sell a new version of the game. All this light blue, this little green blue, this navy blue, they got some, you know, lots of blues going on here. Maybe even some jade around this menus that's going on. You know, make it a little bit more livelier. Add some fiery touch to it. In fact, there's a picture I want to show that has this fiery background that they showed at an event. This is the type design that you need to go to in the new version of the game. Because take a look at it. It looks absolutely hype and amazing. In fact, since we're talking about character screens, I think I know what to go to next. The character select menu. This is how a new version of the character select screen should look. Look at all the characters lined up and ready to go. You see everybody next to each other appropriately. This is how it should be. The KAC is separate from the rest of the roster. I think the established characters should be together and the KAC should be exactly where it is. Along with the ability to choose the other KACs you've made without exiting out of the to the title screen and going back in. Quality of life changement right there. But that's not all. What about 2v2? You see player 1 and 2. If you play locally, you know that you have to wait for player 1 to pick, then player 2 gets to pick. This menu, how it is now, allows both players to pick at the same time. That's the way it should be. They could both go to the KAC and pick their up to 3 KACs if they want to, which is something you can't do in the current version of Jump Force, or they can pick up to 3 of the established characters. And I know you're looking at those silhouettes, and I'm going to tell you right now, those silhouettes are for the future. Or are they? I would pay attention to them, but at the same time, I wouldn't pay attention to them. Let's take a look at the first mode I think will be a quality of life change for the game of Jump Force in a new version. Team Battle, a 1v1 style fight. Each player, probably up to 2 online and offline, can select up to 6 fighters each. Once a player's fighter is defeated, the next shall come out with full health. Kind of like survival, but not. The other player's health stays the same, the one that defeated the other player. For example, if I'm facing someone online, and he defeats, he or she defeats one of my players, my next fighter comes out of the 6, or however how many I choose, and he comes out with full health. I imagine it would be infinite timer for each battle, so it can go smoothly along. But But I think that is a type of mode that would help out. And I think people, if you still don't understand what I'm getting at, if you play the Rage and Blast games, it will play exactly like that. And I think that type of mode will be good. Now, you're probably saying, okay, how can you transverse to that? Well, obviously, right here, the menu set up, it has 6 places right here. So you can easily, for one player that you just saw, easily just pick the 6. But how about local? And you choose the arrows. In fact, this leads me to another mode, which I consider to be separate from the other one. Team Battle Party. This is also a 1v1 style fight, but this one is up to 6 players online and 2 offline. Each player selects one fighter. Once a player's fighter is defeated, the next player shall come out with full health, kind of similar to the other one. The other one's player stays the same, but the defeated player watches as the other teammates try to win with an infinite timer. I think this would be a fun thing to add to Jump Force. And I think some people, if you have a group of friends or somebody, go online, go inside a party, maybe like an Xbox or something, or a PlayStation, and it's like, hey, let's go join this team battle. You know, probably invite them to the team battle. Everybody's there, getting ready to fight and search on other random players. I think it would be fun. Now, one concern would be, yeah, how many people will go on it? But, you know, Jump Force is so bare right now. A mode like this would definitely help. But there is one mode in particular that I've kind of talked about previously, but kind of bring back from J-Stars, but kind of mix it up to Jump Force type of standards. I call it open battle. It's a 2v2 style fight. Each player, up to 4 online and 2 offline, can select up to 2 fighters each. So it's 4v4. A player can switch between their first and second fighter while working with another person against 2 other people. So each player, you have 2 people on your team, two pretty much real people. And the second fighter you choose, you can switch between that second fighter. And both players will have separate health, so you don't have to worry about the other player lacking on that bull crap. You know what I mean? I think that's very important for both players to have separate healths. Now, you know, we previously talked about that the stages need to be expanded. In order for open battle to work, stages do need to be expanded upon in the new version. So, in order for this specific mode to work, each and every stage would need to break down some barrier and walls. And in fact, there is a couple of problems, though, with this that I really need to actually bring out. Now, ultimately, there could be a couple of problems. For example, if I choose Jotaro and Dio and either a random online opponent or a person of mine choosing through an invite also chooses Jotaro and Dio, and we both team up, that will allow for some kind of mode exclusive only combos between 2 Jotaros. That could cause a problem right then and there with combo structure. And don't forget about the gameplay changes we just discussed. So each player will get up to 9 moves too. So that can allow for some crazy combos and broken stuff even there with 2 of the same characters. And also, what about stage transitions? When one player, this is also a cool thing that I thought about too, that definitely needs to happen in open battle. If you're one player and you stage transition another player, you and the other player will be on that separate stage. While if you and your let's just say your buddy or your online whatever, your partner is stuck on the last stage, they'll be fighting on that stage together, and you and the opponent will be on the stage transition stage. That would be so freaking cool. Obviously, that can't really work in a co-op setting, so that's why I don't think that a co-op in a mode like open battle could really work. especially with stage transitions. But I think that pretty much covers up for new modes and menus. But the little question remains, where in the lobby? Where in the lobby would these new modes and menus, well, new modes, actually be? And remember when I talked about the KAC menu? I think it's time for us to move forward to the next step in our resurrection. The lobby.